Hello there YouTube and welcome to a little Carboot haul video. Although it was a nice sunny day today, there was a lot of people out. So although lots of sellers, lots of buyers as well, which meant that pickings were kind of slim. Sorry about not uploading a video from last week. There are some things I could show you, but it's not a lot. We'll see if I get round to it. There might be another video that turns up at some point. Anyway, let's start down here. So I bought these two rather large wooden sculptures early on. They're quite nice. I kind of like these sort of handmade things. They remind me a little bit of Nepal or India with their little colour scheme. They are a bit damaged. Well, this one's missing one of the snake heads there. They do look like they might be a bit faded perhaps, or maybe nicotine damage. I'm not sure. This one, his hand's a bit broken there too. So they're not in the best of condition. Maybe they'll clean up. The woman wanted £20 for the pair. So I sort of stood there and I ummed and ahed for a while. They are really nice, but are they worth a tenner each? What am I going to do with them? Where am I going to put them? And in the end I just went, yeah, sod it. I'll have the pair of them for 20 quid. Most expensive find of the day. Found this, which I think is done by this artist. Squirmy, I don't know, 2016. Imagine they did that with a pen, which was quite a talent, I have to admit. That was 50p. And then this is pretty much all of it. There's only a few other little things, so we didn't really get a whole lot today. We got a high-vis jacket for £1. We got this little battle axey thing for £1. We got this sword for 50p. We got this little voodoo doll. He was 50p, and the same seller had this Rolling Stones hip flask for 50p, so it's not bad. Bought this nice mug. This is quite nice, all sort of embossed and scully. That was 50p as well. This I'm sure I paid £2 for, and I'm sure I bought something else with it at the same time. I bought this. Oh, and I bought this this set of FC UK 3 deodorants for 2 quid. So 2 quid for them and 2 quid for the Zen Garden litter box. A little piece of mindfulness. So I thought that looked quite cute. So yeah, we got those two things for £4. For £5.50 we got this. I'm sure the fella said this was called something like Bristol Rock or Bristol Gem or something. I forget what he said it was called, but Bristol something. He also had these 3 little things that were 3 quid for the lot. The Keeper of Skulls by someone or other, but this one's bloody heavy. The other two are a bit small, not really good for much. The Dragon Gateway. Ooh. So yeah, £5.50 for those 3. These two I got with some comics, so I think they're meant to be from aquariums. But I think they'll be good pieces as dioramas for D&D, and that bit, good piece for diorama for D&D. And then a stack of the comics in here also came from him. There were 6. So in this pile that we're about to go through, there was 6 that came with that for a £5, 6 that were 4 quid, and then 2 that were £1 each. But I'll mention them as we go. Then I got these 3 Star Hill ponies. Now these look like some sort of Poundland crap nonsense. The font is just literally, what's it called? Comic Sans. Incredible that anyone would use that for something like this. And they're from the year 2000, so they're 25 years old now. Still new on card. There was 3 of them. She wanted £2 each, and she also had this whole box full of paints. She said they were her father's paints. She doesn't know how good they are. There's a load of paint brushes in there as well. Some of them are knackered, some of them feel good. And she wanted £5 for the tub of paints, so I said, how about a tenner, including those? So she only had the knock of quid off. We bought this sorting hat for a £5. I asked them originally how much it was, and they said 8 quid. When I went back, they said it was a £5, and it was only when I picked it up I realised it's like electronic. Apparently it talks and moves and things like that. So yeah, is it worth a £5? Who knows. Anyway, let's go through this. So the first stack, the people had 3 boxes of comics when I first arrived, and I asked them how much they were, and they said £1 each or 30 quid a box. Well, one of the boxes was just all Justice Leagues, but they were pretty much battered. The box had obviously given way and the corners were crumbled. The next box was just all a bit random, and there was just nothing that really jumped out at me. Anyway, at one point I went back, and then these ones were in another box I didn't see. So they had a few of these previews. This one's from September 1989. Didn't think they'd be any good. And then I saw this advert for The Walking Dead, and I thought, wow, coming in September, The Walking Dead. We'll have that. Because that's obviously a huge phenomenon now. Well, now I've looked, and it's like The Walking Dead, #1, by Jim Somerville. No, that should be by Robert Kirkman, surely. And the story is of an alien spacecraft crashing into a graveyard in the heart of Washington, D.C., releasing a rejuvenating gas which revives the dead. So it's not The Walking Dead that we know. That's really weird to me, that there was a pre-Walking Dead Walking Dead. Anyway, that was the only reason I picked that one up. Then they had this nice Hulk magazine, Marvel Superheroes magazine, Warriors of the Shadow Realm magazine. 1, 2, 3, 4. There should be a fifth one. They come from someone else. You come from someone else. Where's the rest of the comics from that one? Oh. Have I lost some? 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm sure it was 6. We had 6 somehow. 6 for £4. Now I've only got 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh well. I've lost some somehow, being a plonker. So yeah, alright, okay, now it was 4 for £4, which is a bit of a shame, but yeah, 2 were lost. Anyway, I said to them, out of interest, I saw that you had this box early in the morning, and it's all the same comic. The entire box is the exact same comic and issue, Fighting Marines. God knows when it's from. How did you end up with a whole box of the same? And the bloke was like, oh, I don't know. And the woman said, they're not all the same. And I said, yeah, trust me, first thing this morning, I flicked right to the bottom. They're all identical, all the same issue. And she was like, no, I've looked through. There's different ones at the bottom. There definitely isn't, love. But anyway, I said to her, oh, now I see the other ones. That's at least one of the other ones. Comic Shop News, who are you going to call when they're talking about them originally starting the Ghostbusters comic that I had as a kid, because this was in 1988, I guess. So yeah, I picked that up just for that. Maybe we'll find the other one as we go through, who knows. Anyway, as I was asking them about what the hell, how did you end up with so many of the same thing, the bloke went, I don't know. It was kind of late in the day now, it's about 9, 10 o'clock. The bloke went, you know what, you can just have the whole box of them for £1 if you want. So I went, yeah, sure. I've counted them up. On this side, there's about 110. So I imagine it's going to be 110-ish this side. So roughly speaking, let's say there's 200 of these Fighting Marines comics that I paid £1 for. So that makes them, what, half a pence each. So yeah, I'll see what I can do with those. I have no idea what I'm going to do with 200 of the same comic, but I only need to sell a couple of them to make my money back, don't I? Anyway, person who had these little bits also had a Paddington's Garden picture book. This weird memo pad from Winnie the Pooh. This WWF sticker book, which isn't complete, but does have some like transfers and things in there. A Rainbow Bright colouring book. A Lady and the Tramp Storytime special, including some Winnie the Pooh. Care Bears book. Pookie in a Search for Home. I saw that side. It made me think of one of the other books we got previously that was worth a decent bit of money. Didn't see the damage to it there, sadly. But yeah, all of those were, well, he was saying 50p each. I think there was 6, so £3, and those were £1 each, those things. So 50p each on those. Got this nice poster. Don't know if we'll be able to show you all of it, but let's try. So you've got AC/DC on that side with Angus Young. And on that side, you've got Steve Vai. I don't know who that is, if I'm honest with you. Steve Vai. And then on this side, you've got a really nice Eddie poster. Is that Iron Maiden? Nice vintage Eddie poster. It's clearly been hung up, because you can see where there's like marks on the corners. But that was £1. I thought vintage AC/DC poster might be worth £1. He also had a load of annuals, like 18, Superman. Wanted £1 each on those. This was the only one I bought, the John Pint Kowalski Haunted House. I'd never heard of it. Looks like a nice little pop-up book. I like the artwork in it. Looks like there's lots of little moving parts, and it looks like it's working. A lot of times when I find pop-up books at the Carboot, they're all busted. They're not doing what they should. But yeah, this one looked pretty good. So I thought for £1 I'll have a pop-up book. And lastly, found this. Stay Trippy. It's very strange. I don't know if you can see, but it's like perforated. So I don't know how that is. But that was only 50p. I liked it for 50p. And I bought this George R.R. Martin, The Mystery Knight graphic novel, for 50p as well. So that looked pretty fancy. Thought that's got to be worth 50p. Oh, there is one more thing I got. I got this. So this is like a nice little festival jacket from a company called Funky Threads. One of the reasons I like this, even though the colour scheme isn't ideally what I'd like, it's got one of those cool little hoods. It's like a little pixie hood thing. Said it was XXL. I tried it on. Actually fits me really quite well, considering it's meant to be XXL. It's a bit baggy, which is what you want. He wanted a tenner for it because he said it was brand new and never used. These things are quite expensive in the shops. I don't really want to go to the car boot to spend a tenner on anything. It's not really the colour scheme I like. And we've got to wait a couple of years before we're back in Pilton where I can truly rock it with style. But either way, had that for a tenner. 20 quid there. Another tenner there. And then the rest were just 50p's and a pound and a fiver there. I think overall we spent about like 50, 60 quid, and then we had 30 quid of that on that jacket and those two. So really it was only about 30 quid for all the rest. So yeah, not a bad day, but not the